Hello to everyone. Uh, this is Nikhil Ghadge. I'm a software architect in a company called Okta here in USA. This particular research review paper talks about challenges with securing digital identity. And as I mentioned at the beginning before the talk, I was supposed to be scheduled at first session, but I couldn't make it. So thank you for the organizer for being flexible and allowing me to go just before the break. Let's look at what this research review paper talks about. So, ensuring the security of a digital identities has become increasingly critical in today's interconnected world. This research investigates the intricate difficulties around securing digital identities, spanning technological, human, legal, and regulatory aspects. Key technological hurdles include vulnerabilities in authentication mechanism, risk associated with biometric data, issues with your MFA multi-factor authentication, and challenges implementing the secure hardware. Even factors like social engineering threats, lack of awareness of and education, insider threats, and the psychological impact of identity theft further complicates the entire landscape. Working through legal requirements and adhering to regulation, such as with the data protection laws, cross-border data security issues, and establishing a digital identity standards, and balancing a privacy and security concern poses the additional obstacle. This paper highlights the severe implications of unsecured digital identities and provide recommendation to enhance security through approach involving technological advancements, educational initiatives, and ethical consideration. So let's take a look at what's the definition of your digital identity. So digital identity encompasses the distinct traits and attributes that define an individual or an entity in the online environment. When it comes to securing digital identities, we need to consider the technologies that enable secure and trustworthy transactions over a computer networks, like a blockchain, for an example. While blockchain revolutionized the electronic transaction, it also introduced challenges related to authentication and authorization process. So why it is important to secure the digital identity? So securing digital identity has emerged as a crucial concern and increasing cyber threats and rapid technological progresses, right? The constantly evolving and escalating nature of cyber attacks highlights the increasing importance of protecting and preserving everyone's individual identities. So it's very common these days, the digital identities are getting compromised over the news or the media. There is every now and then either there is a security breach or a password being leaked. So that shows how it is important getting day by day that we need to secure the digital identity. So take an overview, right? The swift expansion of a digital identity management has emerged as a central area of interest for technological progress and privacy issues. Organizations and societies are increasingly recognizing the crucial role of your identity management in maintaining the secure and effective online services. The Center for Technology has outlined essential privacy principles for identity management in digital era, underscoring the critical need to harmonize identity-centric technologies with individual privacy expectations. As our online activities increasingly involve digital identities, robust identity management frameworks are becoming more and more important day by day. However, the challenges lies in striking the right balance between technological progress and protecting personal data. Maintaining this delicate balance necessitates a sophisticated strategy to comply with the current data protection laws, ensuring that digital identities preserve both security and privacy on our continuously changing the digital environment. So what are the technological challenges, right? Like we talked about what is digital identity, why it is important, what is currently happening in the technology world, why it's getting super critical, not only for enterprise world, not only for your professional, but also in the social areas where your digital identity needs to be secured. And more than ever now, the need has been increasing day by day. So what are the technological challenges, right? When you talk about securing digital identities, the first thing comes to your mind is the authentication process. Right? Everyone logs in to multiple accounts via a username and a password. But there are so many vulnerabilities with an authentication mechanism over a period of time, right? How secure is your password? How commonly do you use the same password across multiple identities? What's the strength of your password? again, there are so many password breaches. Has this password, which you commonly use for more than one account, is been already leaked and it's available on the dark web? So these are the authentication mechanism challenges. And sometimes even it's very easy to reset your password because the identity management systems are not correctly built by a given system. And it is very easy to either bypass or make an easy guesses that what could be the answer for some of these questions so that I can reset the password. So the authentication mechanism have shown vulnerabilities over a period of time. uh, there comes the next thing. Hey, can we use a biometric data? Yes, many places you will see there is a biometric option, either your thumb or a retina display. But the biometric data in security protocols come with its serious risk, right? Particularly when it comes to privacy and bias. So that also has shown some vulnerabilities when it comes to sharing your biometric data. Issues with multi-factor authentication. Many places we use multi-factor authentication, MFA, after using your username and a password. But even that has shown how easily it can be compromised. It's very easy to hack through your multi-factor authentication. One of the common example is changing your phone number, which you're using as an MFA. And there have been cases where people have successfully able to intercept your text message to change your phone number from one to another one, and now it becomes part of your MFA. You can easily bypass the MFA authentication, or for that matter, even change the password if needed. So multi-factor authentication also has shown multiple issues. If you look at some of the previous breaches, you will see it's a common pattern where MFA has been compromised for one of the admin accounts. And once your MFA is compromised, there are many things as an admin you can do. Challenges with implementing secure hardware. Obviously, you can have a secure hardware in order to manage your digital identities, but there have been challenges implementing the or actually having the secure hardware for each and every one. And especially, as I said, in enterprise or in a professional world, yes, organizations can have more strict rules and regulation. What type of an hardware you can use, like company laptop, right? What it can do, what it cannot do, what sort of a profile it has. So all of those things can be easily managed for a larger organization. But someone like an individual person who's trying to use either his or her social network or even the uh, banking operations, those things you do not have a secure hardware many times. You either using your personal laptop or a phone. Many times you are in the public areas where you're using the internet, which might not even secure, even though it says secure. So there are a lot of challenges with the securing and hardware too. Let's see what are the human factors when it comes to these securing digital identities and how they're impacting overall. Social engineering things, like there are several key challenges in protecting digital identities. Social engineering threats exploiting vulnerabilities in social networks and technologies like cognitive radio, lack of security awareness and education, insider threats requiring a holistic approach of countering and psychological impact of an identity threat, leading to a disrupt and emotional distress. Addressing this multifaceted issue, though robust security measures, education initiatives and comprehensive strategies that consider both technical and emotional aspects is crucial for safeguarding digital identities. The landscape of digital identity protection is a complex and faces many challenges. We already looked at it, right? Whether it's a hardware or whether how you use your digital identities, what channel you're communicating. Even though you feel it is secure, there are so many ways it can be easily compromised, and some of your practices that can also cause your digital identity to get compromised. So, especially with the increasing prevalence of a social engineering threat, social networking platform, while offering many benefits, also breeding grounds for illegal activities and deception. uh, Many times you see that, hey, my LinkedIn account or a Facebook account is hacked, right? The social engineering is a very common thing which many times hackers track and try to uh, break into your digital identity. When people interact and share personal information on these sites, malicious actors exploit vulnerabilities to manipulate users' info and revealing sensitive data. It's very common that either your password or a PIN is driven by one of the important date in your life, right? And those information can be easily found out on your social media. What's your birth date? What's your birth year? Or which year you graduated? And many times those dates or those years becomes the PIN code for your digital identity. And once somebody hacks into your uh, social network account, those can be easily found out and can be used for further compromising your accounts at multiple places. Another example is many places in order to reset password, there is a security question. And some of the security questions are so common. Hey, what's your birth city, or what's your school mascot? And getting that information from your social network is very easy. You don't even have to hack into it. Many times that information is readily available, or either on your LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other social platform. The significant challenge is protecting digital identities often arises from widespread lack of knowledge and education regarding cybersecurity measures. This deficiency manifests various ways, including misconception about privacy settings, poor awareness of scams, and weak password protection practices. Obviously, privacy settings at organization levels, there is a stringent way, there are set rules and regulations. So your privacy settings are very well managed and controlled. But on your personal device, if you're not very aware, you might not have the most secured or the right privacy settings. Sometimes there are spam emails and you end up clicking on it, and there you go. Your identity is compromised. And weak password protection practices, as I said, right? Even though you have a password which needs a character and one of the special character and uppercase digital numbers, it is still many times easy to hack into it. Most of the time, it could be because the same password has been used at multiple places. Once they know, they just do a password spray and then find out, hey, this is your password. Uh, let's talk about what are the legal and regulatory hurdles in order to securing your digital identity. The key challenges is protecting digital identity, complying with the data protection laws across different legal and socio-economic contexts, addressing cross-border data security issues involving regional conflicts and power dynamics, establishing a robust digital identity standard that balance privacy and technological advancement, and navigating through the balance regarding individual privacy rights, and implementing the robust security measures against the evolving cyber threat. So complying with the legal regulations on a data protection is a complex challenge when it comes to safeguarding your digital identity. The increasing significance of the identity management IAM system in online services and platforms necessitates the organizers carefully balance the technology-driven identity management with respect to personal and privacy rights. A very good example is your HIPAA compliance or your FedRAMP compliance. These are the compliances which tells you if you need to access certain domain-specific data for an individual, these are the rules and regulations you need to follow. And there have been some standards definitely being implemented, but those are specific to a domain. As I said, like HIPAA in your healthcare area, FedRAMP is anything related to federal. But what about social engineering? What about other accounts, right? And those still needs to be uh, find out what could be the right regulations in order to protecting your data. The complex issues surrounding cross-border data security makes even more challenging to protect sensitive information in today's digital world, especially when that information moves across an international boundary. EU wants to store their data on their own land, right? So if you're a company which is based on North America and you have a customer who is in the EU, you cannot store their data in North America. You have to be available. The data should stay within the EU region. So these are some of the cross border data security laws, which makes it sometimes difficult. So implementing strong digital identity standards requires a thoughtful approach that considers the nuances of your user privacy and technological advancement, compliance with the legal requirement. The goal is to foster secure and reliable digital environment that people can count on. It's a delicate balance, but that's essential to get right in today's interconnected world. So if we looked at the digital, what is digital identity, why it is important to secure, what are the challenges, whether it's the hardware, software related, or human factors, or whether it's the legal and regulatory hurdle. So in this research, we also extended a questionnaire across multiple individuals Unfortunately, I couldn't able to collect the entire data to present here. Hopefully, the extended version of this paper will add the responses of the questionnaire. But as I said, right, like some of the things which we discuss are becoming a common pattern where people are actually still failing to understand why it is important to secure the digital identity. And the responses were very clear that people needs an awareness, education, whether it is at the schooling level or the organization level or for just for an individual awareness too. Just to quickly conclude what this review talks about is the safeguarding digital identity in today's rapidly evolving technology landscape presents a multitude of complex challenges. Uh, by emphasizing robust security measures and enhancing digital literacy and encouraging cross-sector collaboration can definitely helps in this area. So digital identity protection and create a secure, trustworthy online environment is a must-have in this era where we already putting so many data protection compliance rules and regulation, how secure your password should be, but there needs to be more awareness um, across the world. And that is what's very clear with some of the questionnaires data I collected. Further research and development effort must concentrate on bolstering encryption methods, authentication protocols, and policy information mechanism, particularly in mobile environment characterized by privacy and data safeguarding complexity. So definitely we need to come up with a better encryption methodology and authentication protocols than what we currently have in order to secure a digital identity. Going forward, your digital identity is going to be the key when you roam around in the world. It represents you. Uh, it has all the characteristics of you as an individual. So safeguarding that digital identity is becoming more and more important going forward. Uh, any,
Okay, thank you.
any questions?
Are there questions from audience? Yes. I think that medical information is very important for medicine, but security is very important for privacy. And so I think this kind of research is very important. But I don't, for example, is there any possibility that to shut down the external or to shut down the leakage of the information of, for example, my computer contains some very important information, but
Yeah.
Microsoft engineer can enter my computer and see my information. Technically, it is possible. And whether for supercomputer like that, is there such kind of risk exists or not?
Yeah, so as I said, right, in one of the slides, I breezed through it that um, securing your individual devices is a key when it comes to digital identities. Like in organization, most of the time, if you're using a device which is issued by a company or by an organization, you have a certain profile, you have certain settings, which makes it actually very difficult to do something like this. Right? I mean, even my office laptop, I cannot open some of these things as you said, and I cannot let someone to actually access stuff. The data is encrypted. The entire machine is encrypted. So even if the machine physically gets lost, there is almost impossible to actually recollect the data. I mean, it's just a brick at that point. That machine is just a brick. No useful for anyone. But when it comes to your personal devices, the awareness and education is the key here. As I said, like the questionnaire covered some of these things. How do you manage your personal device versus your company issued device? And clearly, when it comes to managing your personal devices, people have a lack of awareness other than, hey, I do have a password which is strong enough, or I do use a passkey to log into this. Many times people don't even have multi-factor authentication to some of their very critical application. Good example is financial, like your bank or your E-Trade or a Robinhood account. They do provide a strong multi-factor authentication, but it's more about getting the awareness out there. Let the people know that, hey, like these are the way you can secure your identities. One of the most important things over a period of time I have seen working in the identity and management systems domain for last more than 10 years, to not use same password across multiple platforms. I mean, that's definitely a no-go. If possible, use the sentences as a password because it is very difficult to judge those, right? As I said, historically, people used to have their birth date as their password. It's so easy in this modern world that people can easily guess that password. So managing and protecting your individual identity, especially the individual digital identity,